The Echolore. There are many stories about the mountain. Some claim it appeared after a great storm, rising from the earth in a single night. Others insist it has always existed, and that the world simply forgot it was there. At the summit stands a temple. No one knows who built it. No record speaks of its construction. No king ever claimed it. No mason ever replicated its stone. The oldest writings discovered by scholars describe the temple exactly as it appears today. It was ancient when history was young, and it remains unchanged now. Wind does not erode it. Snow does not bury it. Time does not seem to touch it. The temple simply exists. Its pillars are covered in glowing symbols belonging to no known language. Travelers have spent lifetimes attempting to translate them, believing they might contain answers. Some argued they were prayers. Others believed they were warnings. A few proposed that they were neither words nor symbols at all, but something else entirely: calculations, coordinates, instructions. No interpretation was ever proven. The temple has remained silent. For most of history, people avoided it. Stories spread of hunters disappearing along its slopes, and of travelers hearing voices in the mountain fog. Merchants refused to camp nearby. Pilgrims turned back before reaching the summit. Even armies marched around it rather than past it. The mountain earned a reputation as a cursed place, though no one could explain precisely why. Fear alone might have been enough to keep people away forever. Curiosity changed that. Every generation produces a few souls who cannot leave mysteries untouched. Explorers climbed the mountain seeking answers. Treasure hunters searched for forgotten relics. Scholars hoped to uncover the truth hidden within the temple walls. They entered willingly, convinced they would succeed where others had failed. Most never returned. The few who did brought back stories so strange that many dismissed them as madness. They spoke of a great circular gate hidden deep within the temple's heart. Some described it as a doorway, others called it a mirror. One explorer claimed it resembled an eye staring back at him from another world. Every witness struggled to describe it accurately. Looking directly upon the gate seemed to distort memory itself. Yet all agreed on one thing: the gate was open. Beyond it lay a place no map could describe. A place known only as the labyrinth. Those who entered expected corridors and chambers. Instead, they found an impossible realm where distance held little meaning. Ancient halls stretched endlessly into darkness. Vast caverns housed ruins that belonged to no civilization. Nothing seemed connected, yet everything belonged there. The labyrinth did not feel built. It felt accumulated, as though fragments of countless places had gathered together over centuries and fused into a single realm. Explorers quickly discovered that escaping was far more difficult than entering. Paths shifted, doors vanished, rooms appeared where none had existed before. Many became hopelessly lost. Some died. Others wished they had. For the greatest horror of the labyrinth was not death. It was what came after. The earliest accounts describe strange changes occurring among those trapped within its halls. At first, the symptoms were subtle. Memories became difficult to hold. Names were forgotten, faces blurred. Entire years of a person's life could vanish from memory without warning. Over time, these losses grew worse. Travelers found themselves struggling to remember why they had entered the labyrinth at all. Yet while memories faded, certain thoughts remained: fear, regret, obsession, hope. Whatever feeling burned strongest within a person's soul refused to disappear. The labyrinth seemed to preserve it, feed it, strengthen it, until eventually that single emotion consumed everything else. Those who suffered this fate ceased to be human. Their minds fractured, their bodies changed. The person they had once been disappeared beneath something new. These beings became known as echoes, not demons, not spirits, echoes. Fragments of people whose stories never reached an ending. Every creature wandering the labyrinth was once an adventurer. Every monster stalking its corridors once stood before the gate believing they would uncover the truth. Some had been explorers. Others were kings, thieves, scholars, mercenaries, or pilgrims. Their histories differed, but their fate remained the same. The labyrinth remembered them long after they had forgotten themselves. Over centuries, countless echoes emerged. Some lurked in darkness, listening for footsteps that no longer existed. Others wandered endlessly in search of companions they had lost long ago. A few clung to ceilings and shadows, forever hiding from dangers that had already passed. Though their names vanished, traces of their former selves remained hidden beneath the curse. The labyrinth did not create monsters. It preserved tragedies. Yet among all the stories collected from those halls, one figure appears more often than any other. The Wanderer. No one knows when he entered the labyrinth. Some claim he has existed there for centuries. Others insist he appears differently to every person who encounters him. Stories describe a lone traveler carrying a pale lantern through the darkness. Unlike the echoes, the Wanderer retained his mind. He remembered enough of who he once was to resist becoming something else. Many explorers reported seeing him from a distance moments before disaster struck. Others found warnings carved into stone walls, directing them away from danger. Some claimed he appeared beside them when all hope seemed lost, guiding them towards safety before vanishing without explanation. The Wanderer never revealed the truth of the labyrinth. He only offered guidance, as though he believed the answer could not be taught. It had to be discovered. Over time, a theory emerged among those who studied the temple's legends. The labyrinth was not a prison. The gate was not an accident. The echoes were not its true purpose. They were consequences. The real mystery lay deeper, beyond the ruins, beyond the forgotten halls, beyond the stories left behind by thousands of lost adventurers. Something waits at the center of the labyrinth. Something older than the temple, older than the mountain, older than the stories themselves. The few who approached it never returned. The Wanderer sought it and failed. The echoes were born from it. The gate remains open because of it. And every person who climbs the mountain, whether they realize it or not, is searching for it. That is the true Echolore. Not the history of the temple, not the history of the labyrinth, but the history of every soul who entered seeking answers and became part of the story themselves.